If you're anything like me, you're probably always on the lookout for like the most efficient way to like stay in the loop on important stuff.
You bet.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into something that really highlights how even with the best intentions,
Oh, yeah.
things can go really wrong sometimes.
Definitely.
We're talking about an error by the Trump administration
Okay.
that ended up causing a lot of concern for Ukrainian refugees who are here in the U.S.
Right here in the U.S., yeah.
And the source we're looking at for this is a report from CBS News.
Okay.
And the title is really simple. It's just pasted text.
Interesting.
So our mission today is to really break down what exactly happened in this situation,
Okay.
why it's so important for us to be aware of,
Yeah.
and what this whole thing tells us about the systems that are supposed to be in place to help people like these refugees.
Sounds good. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's jump right in.
All right.
This CBS News report tells us that on April 3rd, a bunch of Ukrainian refugees who are already here in the U.S., they got this super alarming email from the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS.
DHS, okay.
And you're probably thinking, like, what could be so alarming about an email?
Right.
Well, this is where things get kind of crazy.
Okay.
The language in this email was so direct and really forceful.
Oh, wow.
It basically told these refugees that their legal protection, their parole status, was going to be terminated in just 7 days.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that.
That's got to be jarring to receive that kind of news.
It's not just a gentle heads up.
No, not at all.
It goes on to warn them about potential law enforcement action that could lead to them being removed from the country.
Oh, God.
It even tells them to self-deport by using the CBP Home app. It's like they're really driving the point home.
Yeah.
The message is crystal clear.
Oh, wow.
It says, again, DHS is terminating your parole. Do not attempt to remain in the United States. The federal government will find you. Please depart the United States immediately.
That's pretty intense language.
Yeah, and, you know, if we try to put ourselves in their shoes for a second, these are people who came here seeking safety.
Right.
They followed all the legal processes.
Wow.
They're here under the Biden administration's Uniting for Ukraine program, or U4U.
U4U.
And this email just drops this bomb on them.
Yeah, out of the blue.
Yeah, and it's not like this was sent to just anyone. This went to an unknown number of those roughly 260,000 Ukrainians who came here through the right channels.
The official program.
Yeah, so you can see why this caused so much panic and confusion.
Absolutely. It's a huge deal.
It really makes you think about how government agencies communicate, especially with people who are already in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, you're right.
The fact that a mistake this big could even happen is pretty shocking.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Now, what's interesting is that the report mentions that the Trump administration actually issued what they called a rare apology on the Friday after this whole mess.
Okay, a rare apology, so they don't do that too often?
Yeah, not really, and I think that shows just how serious this error was.
Yeah, they realized they messed up big time.
And DHS also came out with an explanation. They said that the first email was a mistake, plain and simple, and that it was sent to some Ukrainians who are part of the U4U program.
Okay, so at least it wasn't everyone.
Yeah, but the important thing they clarified was that the U4U program itself was not being shut down.
Oh, okay, so they weren't actually pulling the rug out from under these folks.
Exactly. So it was a huge relief that it was just a mistake.
Right, because that initial communication must have been incredibly scary for those who got it.
Oh, absolutely.
But it sounds like DHS did take steps to correct things pretty quickly.
They did. On that same Friday, they sent out another email to everyone who got the first wrong one.
Damage control.
Yeah, and this correction email was pretty clear. It said, you may have received an email notification titled Notice of Termination of Parole. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, sent this email to you in error. No action will be taken with respect to your parole.
So they basically retracted the whole thing.
Exactly. So thankfully, they cleared up the confusion.
That's good.
So the main takeaway here is that even though that first email was super scary and used some pretty serious language, the legal status of the Ukrainian refugees who came here through the U4U program hasn't changed.
Okay.
Their parole is still valid.
That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. That's the key point from the report.
All right, so to recap real quick, we had a significant error from the Trump administration, a mass email that incorrectly threatened Ukrainian refugees with deportation.
Yeah.
And while they did apologize and correct the mistake,
the
initial fear and confusion that it caused must have been really tough for those folks.
Absolutely.
And this brings us to something I think is really important to think about.
Okay.
Even when a mistake like this is fixed quickly, What does it tell us about the systems that are in place to handle these really important immigration matters?
Yeah.
Are they as reliable as we think they are? And even more importantly, what about the human impact of these mistakes?
Yeah.
Even after things are corrected, that initial fear and uncertainty can have a lasting effect on people.
Absolutely. It really makes you think about the fragility of these systems and how much people depend on them.
Exactly. It's definitely something worth pondering.
It is. Thanks for breaking all that down with me today.
No problem, anytime.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya. Bye.